Hello again, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on the MTG Cast Network. This is, apparently, episode 578 of Monday Night Magic, and I am apparently Chewie.
Yep, facts checked out.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, we didn't actually check.
Oh, so like every news source ever. Okay.
Yeah, totally. Like, we'll just print a retraction that no one will read. It's fine.
Ah, okay, yeah. Retraction. That was not actually Chewie. So I am joined this week by apparently Squee.
Apparently.
And almost certainly probably Cluze.
Yeah, we're pretty sure of that. And a quick reminder to anyone on the ST Express bus, there is a stop closure at 2nd Avenue and Stewart. Just remember that.
You're working really hard to work these numbers in.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do. Sound Transit, ride the wave. See, somebody is listening on Sound Transit, I'm sure, and they really liked that shout out.
I hope so.
Although on Route 578, there's no missed stops. They just reroute around 2nd and Stewart, so your trip might be a little longer.
Oh.
Do you get transmissions through your teeth?
Wait, are you talking to me now or Steve?
Well, Steve already answered.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
asking you.
Then no, certainly not. That's not what I had removed when I had my wisdom teeth out.
Just checking. I worry about you.
All right then, anyway. Also, hi Steve on the bus. Whether you're on that particular line or not. So, right. We missed last week because, well, I mean, nothing happened. Let's be
Pre-releases happened. That's not something we report on.
Yeah. I did one pre-release. It was a two-headed giant pre-release with my Mana Pool co-host Brian. We got the band back together. He and I did a lot of two-headed giant way back in the day when they first introduced it.
Wait, there's banding in this set? Did I miss that?
I hate you.
Well, if you went to the pre-release clues.
Oh, sick burn.
Ooh.
Yeah, we did two-headed giant. I had the red-green dinosaur deck. He had the blue-black pirate deck. And, yeah.
So you cover the two ends of the awesome?
Pretty much, yeah. His deck crapped itself in our last two games and decided to not bother to play. So, yeah, we ended up 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses.
So it sounds like standard two-headed giant.
Yeah, the draw was completely my fault. We thought we had the game won. I had the pirate that cast Threaten, the active treason pirate.
Yeah.
And 12 mana, because I did nothing that game but ramp. And I didn't even ramp. I did nothing that game but draw land. And I stole 3 of his dudes, and then we attacked with everything. Or 3 of their dudes, because it was two-headed giant. And when I say everything, I included the Steal Everything pirate, because we thought we had the game.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we didn't have the game.
The math happened, or did they use a card?
Both.
Mm.
And they were sure to block and kill it. So then...
That's good.
Because in Two-Headed Giant, there aren't 5 turns. We could have won in 5 turns. There are 3 turns. So, yeah, we had a draw, which was not cool. And then the next 2 games, Brian's deck just didn't bother to show up. Like, his curve stopped at 5, and he had like 4 or 5 drops, and everything else was lower than that. And he kept drawing not enough land and all his 5 drops. And then he would mulligan and get not enough land and all his 5 drops. And he'd mulligan and get not enough land and all his 5 drops. I don't understand.
There's a certain point where in a deck like that, you can mulligan and it's okay because your curve only goes so far. But when you're doing what he's doing, it's not okay. Not good.
Mulliganing wrongly?
No. Everything he's doing is right, but you have to mulligan and then get better cards. Otherwise, you're just, in a bad place.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, so don't count your dinosaurs before they hatch.
Yeah, and my deck, which was like the finisher deck that had all of the 5, 6, 7 drops in it, was actually trying desperately to hold down the early game in those last 2 games. So yeah, for more about that, I'm sure we'll talk about it on the next Mana Pool, because we also didn't record the Mana Pool last week because reasons.
Ooh, reasons.
Yeah. Not the little candy things.
Oh.
Yeah, not those. Hey, Bill, you went to a pre-release, right?
I did.
How'd you do?
I went 4-1 with the weirdest curve ever because I had 1 3-drop. It was strange. Well, I think I had 2 3-drops because one of them was an actual creature and one of them was the spell that makes 2 tokens.
Oh, okay.
So like my curve was entirely whacked out. Like I think I was running like 6 or 7 4-drops because it's just what my pool had. But I don't know. I made a Boros deck. Seemed right. Open Jace, didn't run it. Seemed right.
Nice.
Yeah, I had the guy that you were just talking about, the pirate who threatens things for 4 mana.
Captivating something.
Something.
Crew, is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Essentially, I would sandbag it until I had 8 mana so that I could play it and take something that turn.
Captivating Crew, yeah.
And then that would put them in a bad place and then a much worse place because they know that whatever they cast next turn is going to hit them before they can hit me with it. It's a terrible feeling. And I don't know, like the sealed format's kind of wonky because some of the combinations really want synergy and others really don't. And when I have a, beefy haste trample dinosaur, I'm going to hit you with it. And it did, and it worked. I don't really have a whole lot to say about that other than that was pretty cool.
Nice.
I guess if I get around to drafting the set, that'll be interesting. But so far, I just did the pre-release and had fun with it. I will say that I played against the one round that I lost. I played against the pirate that essentially gets treasure every time it hits you, and can sacrifice treasure to get bigger. And that very rapidly became an unwinnable game because my opponent was allowed to pass with cancel up every turn while still playing out all their mana curve. It's really hard to play around that. Would not recommend.
Not so much, no.
No. But, I mean, I liked it. I had fun. I got to play with dinosaurs and I got to play with pirates. So, those were my goals for the set. Accomplished.
Great.
All right, then. Cluze did not go to a pre-release because he had real-life stuff.
Yeah, I was in the middle of a field somewhere looking at the sky.
Sky checks are important.
I was sky checking the whole weekend long, and the sky was there the whole time.
Well, that's
nice.
Good. I'd miss it.
So, because a pre-release happened, that means that a new set must have come out.
What?
Not just any new set. A new set that got rid of one of the old sets. Two of the old sets, I guess.
I was going to say multiple of the old sets.
Yeah.
4 of the old sets.
Yeah.
Right, because we lost Zendikar block and Innistrad block, right?
The newer versions of both, yes.
Yes.
Right. Zendikar 2.0 and Innistrad.
Battle for Zendikar and Shadows of Innistrad went away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because this is like Zendikar 3.0, right?
Yeah, we're in Zendikar, the J.J. Abrams reboot right now.
Zendikar
it is flashier
plus.
And captures everything that we wanted out of the original one, but it's also not treading that much new ground. It's just good.
You're gonna make Cluze swear.
Possibly.
Yeah, look, I'm being real good. I wasn't gonna go down that road. It's fine. We know my feelings about that. It's okay.
I mean, it's understandable because you're gonna get him for another Star Wars movie anyway. There's the sigh.
Anyway, let's talk about some stuff. I'm actually gonna do this out of order. So when a new set comes out, we get the new changes to the comp rules and tournament policy and all that crap.
Yeah.
And since most of it is nonsense, we'll just run through this real quick. We talked about this a few weeks ago. A bunch of old dinosaur-looking things have been eroded to be dinosaurs.
They are, in fact, dinosaurs. That thing that you thought was a dinosaur, it is now a dinosaur.
In many cases.
In most cases.
Yeah. The Allosaurus rider is not, because that's the elf, not the thing he's riding.
Yeah.
And
Phyrexian Soul Gorger is an abomination. Not really, but it's Phyrexian, so that's not a dinosaur.
Yeah. The Histrodons are probably could have been, but they opted to not go with that. And the Pygmy Pyrosaur, just no.
I think that the changelings, including Mr. Multimus, honorary changeling progenitor, I think that they are entertained at the fact that they're dinosaurs and also confused because they are now also trilobite.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why are there trilobites?
Because there's a card that's a trilobite.
Since when?
This set.
Oh, okay.
It was the other type that was added this set. Because everyone was looking at dinosaurs, but
did not realize there was a... What is the trilobite?
Let me find it.
What color? It's got to be blue, right?
Shorekeeper. Blue, yeah.
Shorekeeper.
Yep. It's the single blue 0/3 that lets you pay 7 in a blue and tap it and sack it to draw 3 cards. It is a trilobite, so we now have trilobites.
Look at that.
That is your random trivia for the day.
Fungasaur was originally a fungasaur, but then it became a fungus lizard, and now it's a fungus dinosaur?
Yes.
That poor bastard.
Yeah, it's never been printed as... Oh, wait, I looked this up on the Manifold.
Yeah, it was never printed as a fungus lizard that I
didn't think so. Like, all of its printings have all been Fungasaur. Which is really weird. I want to double check this though. The last printing was 8th edition, which says Fungasaur. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So that's that. The legendary planeswalkers thing has happened. There is no longer a planeswalker uniqueness rule.
Yep. Long live the planeswalker uniqueness rule.
Yay. Except not long live.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, because it died.
Yeah, it was put into the graveyard as a state-based action.
It was buried.
Like a couple other things that only sort of matter.
Look, trample before lifelink. Everyone knows what that means. If you don't, go look it up.
Trample before lifelink is apparently huge, enough for cards to get errata.
No, you don't need to explain. Everyone knows. Just move on.
All right. So that's the Oracle changes. Like, there are a couple other things, but whatever. Nothing terribly important. In the comp rules changes, they've added all of the new stuff, of course. Blah, blah, blah. And the big thing that was hinted at with Magus of the Moon in the Iconic Masters release notes has now happened. And it's a layers thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's an interaction between continuous effects and replacement effects, because there were things that replaced how things entered the battlefield, but if you had a continuous effect on the battlefield that should have made that go away, it did. Look, there was a bunch of stuff that was so terribly, horribly confusing, right? And you'd have someone who was new and playing the game, and you'd explain to them, oh, no, that's totally not the way that works, because let's say layers. Yeah, all that's nonsense and gone now. Basically, the way you thought it should work is pretty much the way it works now. So, for instance, let's say that you've got a shockland. That's probably a really good example, a shockland. So you want that shockland to enter the battlefield untapped, but not as the shockland, but as a mountain, because Blood Moon is out now. You want to do that? Well, you used to have to pay 2 life, because that trigger was still gonna that replacement effect was still gonna happen. Yeah, it's pretty much just not anymore. We're gonna let's look at how the world is now, and we'll just make the things do what they're supposed to do.
Wow, that was not.
That was way more confusing.
So, I know. Just make it do what it's supposed to do. It's just okay. What you think should make sense. Just do it.
I know you're trying to help, Cluze, but that's not helping. So
I know. I'm trying to be less helpful now since you called attention to it.
Oh, well, don't do that.
Yeah, this is important. Okay, so Blood Moon is out.
Yes.
You want to play a shockland.
Yes.
So even though there's a Blood Moon out that says this will show up as a mountain, you still had to pay 2 life because that replacement effect happened before it became just a mountain, because that apparently didn't matter until it actually hit the battlefield. So it was very strange, and you had to pay 2 life to get an untapped mountain. The example used in the thing here, the write-up here, is Dimir Aqueduct, which enters the battlefield tapped, and you have to bounce a land to your hand. Well, before, it would enter the battlefield tapped as a mountain, and you wouldn't have to bounce anything. But you still had a tapped mountain under a Blood Moon. So now that's not the case. Now, if you're playing it, it'll go, hey, that's going to be a mountain. Burp, mountain. Untapped. Don't have to bounce anything. Don't have to pay 2 life for the shockland. Whatever.
Yeah, basically just look at the battlefield and ask yourself, if this were on the battlefield, what would it be? And if the answer is just a mountain, just put it on the battlefield.
Yeah, you're good. And this worked for other things. The other example is using Arcane Adaptation to make everything some creature type, and having Metallic Mimic set to that creature type. it would not get the counter from the Metallic Mimic because of the way that this interaction worked, which doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever. So they fixed it, so it makes sense. And if you're saying that's a corner case, these are both in standard right now together. So, it's not terribly cornery. They both yell, hey, let's make everything a certain creature type and then reap the rewards. But you wouldn't get the rewards, and it would feel really bad to not get a counter from the Metallic Mimic. Because it says, in case you've forgotten, each other creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So you're like, sweet, everything's a goblin. Because of Arcane Adaptation, I play this thing, and it gets a counter. What do you mean it doesn't get a counter? Well, that's stupid, and they agreed, so now it does.
See? Just how you think it should work is how it works.
Yay.
Ta-da!
So that's the only really big thing.
Yeah, we didn't notice anything else.
I mean, there's the phasing thing, too. Like, phasing? Things that phase away don't actually leave the zone anymore. You just pretend they're not there. And so it's weird. Like,
isn't that what we always did?
Not
what the rules did, but what we always did.
We always did. Well, yeah.
Like, players in general.
So, like, if you phase out a token previously, it would just go away because it left, so it's gone. But now, since it's not going anywhere, if you phase out a token, it will phase back. But that's all because of Teferi's protection in Commander 2017. So, yeah. But most of the rest of these rules are the stuff you would expect, or things that are really fiddly and not worth talking about on this show.
Yeah, I think the phasing now works even better with Judge Cast's old idea of how to treat phasing, which is you just put a coffee cup over everything that's phased out. Just put a coffee cup over it. Just pretend it's not there.
You heard it here, folks. Cluze is telling you to put beverages on your cards.
Then no, just the cup. There's no beverage in the cup. It's just
because
a coffee
people
cup.
carry on coffee cups without coffee in them, Cluze.
Anyway, so that's that. There are also some policy changes, tournament policy stuff, for the judgy side of things, not for the rulesy side of things. Such as... Well, the main one that I saw that was really neat is reminding your opponent about optional choices. And I'm sure Toby Elliott thought this was really cute because he posted this on September 25th, which I'm guessing was Talk Like a Pirate Day.
No, I think it was just because of the pirate theme in the set.
Okay. But now that, this is later, this is really freaking annoying. So somebody smack Toby Elliott for me. Thank you.
No, I refuse.
Someone else then. Damn.
Don't smack Toby Elliott.
If you're a friend of Toby Elliott, feel free to smack him. Now, but this works for things like Path to Exile. It says, where'd it go? Now, if a spell or ability you play gives an opponent a choice, like Path to Exile, you must get confirmation from them that they aren't doing the optional thing. You can't just sit back and let them miss it sort of implicitly. So, yeah, there you go. Also, there was something... Bill, wasn't there something in here that you thought we should mention once?
I mentioned the build times thing, but... The
build times thing, that's what it was.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah, sealed deck events on the launch weekend, including GPs, have now been extended by 15 minutes. So you don't have to, frantically remind yourself what all the cards do for the seemingly fast deck building time.
Which reminds me, if you're running a pre-release, extend that build time for people, because they don't know these cards.
Right. Come on, man. All right, then. So that's that.
Ta-da!
Yay! Now let's go to
Fungasaur.
The Fungasaur. Let's go to the tournaments. So we've got 2 GPs this weekend.
Woo!
One in... Where is this?
Providence,
right? Where my buddy and my god through World of Warcraft. I'm sorry, did I say guide? I meant my torturer through World of Warcraft so long ago.
I thought you actually said god, not guide.
God? Yes, he was the World of Warcraft god that time that I had to play, and he was a vengeful god and not a happy one. But no, my buddy Jacob, this was his first GP that he judged.
Sweet. Way to go.
Yeah, said he was on sides all day, and then he got destroyed by Chris Lansdale in a judge draft. So there you go.
Was that related to the judge draft? Because Chris is kind of big.
That was mean, Lansdell. Don't do that. Be nice.
Yeah, man.
I believe you can destroy people.
I like Jake. Anyway, okay, so we had more than. Good Lord. How many teams do we have here?
More than
Sufficient.
562 teams for a total of 1,686 players.
Not a small number.
That is not a small number. We're playing Ixalan Limited in Providence. And who... Why can't... Oh, because there's a tab up here now. Tournament results and deck list. There we go. Good Lord.
Yep.
So, who won? Oh, it only gives me last names, for God's sake. Martin Juza, Andrew Beckstrom, and Corey Burkhart took it down. Playing limited.
Limited.
playing limited. In second place, I'm going to assume that it was Owen, Huey, and Reed. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so yeah, Owen Turtenwald, William, Huey Jensen, and Reed Duke, of course, because it's a team event, so they finished in the top 4. Who was in third? I had to click away from the actual order to get to the profiles to see full names.
Yeah, so I can't pronounce these names.
Okay, so it was these people in... Okay, hang on. I have to click back and forth.
Open a new tab.
So I'm going to horribly screw up these names because I think they're Chinese.
I believe they are.
And I don't...
Yes,
they are from China.
From China. Yeah.
So we're going to go Lucas, would that be Mushi Lee, maybe?
Could be. I got nothing for you.
And,
there's a plush dinosaur in the picture. That's how my attention span works.
Oh, look, it's a dinosaur. Duh. And Zili Yao and Haoran Ling. Apologies. They finished third. And then in fourth place, we had Will Sullivan, John Twardowski, and Cody Del Pazzo. And that was your top 4.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, wait. I didn't open any tabs. I have to go back. Here we go.
I imagine playing Team Limited with a brand new set is one of the most challenging things you can do.
Or,
I mean, that's complicated when you know all the cards.
Or with proper planning, it's the easiest thing you can do because everyone else is finding it challenging.
There is that too.
So, okay, that was Providence. Since it's limited and team, it actually doesn't matter as far as, deck lists and whatnot. So let's go over to... Where is this one? Shizuoka. Where I've lost everything. How many people were at this tournament, you guys? I can't find anything.
557 teams, translating to 1,671 people.
How many?
557.
So that's only what, like 5 less than Providence?
Yeah, 5 less teams, 15 less people.
Nice. That is not a small number.
No.
Okay, so let me go horribly mispronounce these names. So, who won? Wait a minute, Bill, you're our resident weeb. You should read these names.
Are you asking me to read them correctly or incorrectly?
Oh, I mean in typical M&M fashion.
However you would like.
Okay. All right, so first place, we've got Michio Abe, Sho Hayakawa, and Kentaro Tachibana. In second place, we have Kelvin Chu. I think you know Li Shu-chan.
Yeah, is that Jeremy Desani? Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're familiar names.
I think these names are good too, actually.
Yeah, you probably know these ones. It's Yu Watanabe, Hajime Nakamura, and Shota Yasuoka in third place.
Damn.
Yeah. And in fourth place, we have Daisuke Ishii, Sugaya Hironobu, and Yukio Kozakai. So.
Well, I can't even find them. Oh, here they are. I'm glad you're reading this because I couldn't find the last bit.
I play the game of right-click, open a new tab on each of the C profile buttons.
Oh, see, I had them open in one tab, and then I had the profiles open on the other tab, and I was just scrolling. You have chosen more wisely.
They're your top 12 people making up your top 14.
Yay! And they were playing limited. So congrats all around. Yeah, good job. So let's go over to the Star City Open, which was in Dallas. where we get our first look at New Modern. Oh my god, it's also New Standard. Also that.
Which one would you like to talk about first?
Well, we'll do Standard first. So, Andrew Jessup won, because it's the actual Open. We'll start with that one.
That's fair.
Yeah. Andrew Jessup won playing a Sultai energy deck. Get used to hearing that. There's going to be a lot of them.
Yep.
So, we've got your usual thing, Walking Ballista, because, why not? Glint Sleeve Siphoner, Long Tusk Cub, Rogue Refiner. Yup, all sounds familiar. We've got Winding Constrictor and Rishkar Pima Renegade because, you're playing Walking Ballista. Because you're running blue and black, you've got a Scarab God in the deck. Sick.
Yeah.
And then you have Hostage Taker. 4 of them. Also, presumably, because you're running blue and black, because you're going to see that one a lot, too.
Yeah.
Hostage Taker is the 2/3 pirate for 2 a blue and a black. That is an O-Ring ability. When it enters the battlefield, you exile target artifact or creature until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. Now, you could stop there, and it would be an okay creature. But then it says, you may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. Well, I mean, that's pretty good. But what if they're playing a different color, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color, of any type, to cast that spell? Whoo!
I think this card's good, and I'm glad that Andrew Jessup figured that out, and it's surprising that no one else did.
Yeah, let's say that.
I mean, I assume I haven't looked at the rest of these decks yet. So.
Stay tuned.
All right.
So,
for this story as it develops.
Not only is it essentially a removal spell on a creature, so it's basically a 2-for-1, but you also get to cast it yourself. So with enough mana or with them not being able to deal with the Hostage Taker, it's a 3-for-1. Get rid of that, so -1. I get a thing, +1, and then I steal your thing. Seems good. And it's all over the place. Over in the sideboard, I think it's really funny that we have the Death Gorge Scavenger. I don't even remember this card. Did you guys see this card at all?
No.
I didn't either. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, it's a 3/2 for 3, 2 and a green. You may exile target card from a graveyard. If a creature card is exiled this way, you gain 2 life. If a non-creature card is exiled this way, the Death Gorge Scavenger gets +1/+1 until end of the turn.
I played against that in Limited.
How was it in Limited?
Well, considering there were no cards in the graveyard when they cast it, and the first card in the graveyard was it when I killed it, it's a creature you can kill. That said, it's very efficient, obviously, and in a constructed format where the graveyard is more likely to have stuff in it on the early turns of the game, it's presumably a lot better.
Presumably. We also have Vraska's Contempt in the board, and Vraska herself. Just one. I'm really curious to know why she's in there. But she's in there, so, whatever.
-3, destroy that thing?
Possibly.
When you don't know what that thing is yet in the opening weekend?
Possibly.
That's my guess.
So that was Andrew Jessup. Second place, we have... What? Tad Makareg. Is that right? Is that close to right? We have Tad playing Ramunap Red. And there is literally nothing new in this deck. It is Ramunap Red with Hazaret, Karizev, 1 Torch of Defiance, and a bunch of little dudes and burn spells, and Ramunap Ruins.
Yep.
Shocking.
Exactly.
4 of them, yeah.
Yeah. And 4 lightning strikes and 4 braids, because, kill all the things. So, that's a thing.
Have Red will travel.
Looks oddly familiar. In third place, we have Dan Jessup. What? Really? I did not notice. I wonder if they're related. I'm sure that Star City made a big deal of it if they are, but
it does sound like them.
I don't pay attention. And he's running a Sultai energy deck that is, as far as I can tell, identical or near as damn it. So, okay. Fourth place, David.
So he figured out the Hostage Taker was a good card as well.
It seems like it, yeah. In fourth place, David Thomas is running a blue-white Approach deck, Approach of the Second Sun, with 2 copies of Gideon of the Trials, because comedy.
Because that's the Gideon you have now.
And he seems pretty good.
Yeah?
But yeah, this is the deck that, it's a hard control deck. And it's its whole point is to cast Approach of the... let me try that again. Its whole point is to cast Approach of the Second Sun, and then to cast Approach of the Second Sun and win.
Those are good conditions.
I thought so. Oh. So Cluze just pulled up the top 8 profiles, and they asked Dan Jessup, why did you play the deck you played this weekend? And he said, Andrew said to.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. Oh, and they're both from Long Island. I would guess, and they look somewhat similar. I would guess they are, in fact, related. Nice find, Cluze.
Hey, hard-hitting reporting here.
The Approach deck does have Settle the Wreckage, which I thought was kind of nice. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls, and then it's a path to exile for all of them, essentially. That player may search his or her library for that many basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. And it's also got 2 copies of Search for Azcanta, which is one of the legendary enchantments that is double-faced. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard, and if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform it. It transforms into Azcanta the Sunken Ruin, which taps for blue, or 2 blue and tap, look at the top 4 of your library, reveal a non-creature, non-land from among them, and put it into your hand. Wow, that's really good when you approach.
Are looking for another approach?
Yeah. Because the rest go on the bottom, so yeah, you can just Azcanta the next turn and get yourself 4 cards closer. 5, because you drew that turn. Nice. So there you go. That's how that works.
And if it doesn't get you what you need, your control deck, let's just go grab another board wipe or something.
Yeah,
like,
or something.
You're still getting stuff.
Or some more card draw, or some more counter magic, because there's plenty.
Yeah, I'd wager there's enough stuff to dig out there.
Yeah. So there you go. That's that deck. It's, like I said, it's a hard control deck that's just trying desperately to cast Approach of the Second Sun twice, which seems good. In 5th place, Jim Davis is also playing a blue-white Approach deck. He's got no Gideons, but he is running a Farm to Market. So that's doing double duty as a removal spell, and then draw 2 and discard 2, which seems good. He's also running Opt.
Yeah, and he's not running Land Destruction.
He's not running what?
Land Destruction.
Was the other one?
Yeah. The other one was running 2 Field of Ruin.
Oh, I completely missed that. Wow, Field of Ruin is pretty good. Yeah, Field of Ruin seems good.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking. He is running the Desert of the Mindful, the Cycling Desert. And Ipnu Rivulet, which is sack a desert to make a player mill 4, which the other one is not.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that would get anywhere, but then you realize that the condition for your Sunken Ruin might make you want to mill yourself once.
Sunken Ruin?
The search for Azcanta thing. Because you have to hit, essentially, threshold.
Oh,
that might speed
okay.
that along. I mean, I don't know that you target yourself, but it's an option.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you target yourself with it just to mill yourself for 4 to get yourself that much closer to the second approach. It works sort of like the Azcanta itself, I'm guessing.
Presumably.
Seems good. So there you go. And everything else is counter and removal and wipes and stuff like that. And draw.
Control, if you will.
Yeah, like you do. So in 6th place, Gabriel Nicholas is running 4-color energy. He's got red in here for Glorybringer, Whirler Virtuoso, and Chandra Torch of Defiance, and some burn. Yeah, you remember the 4-color energy decks? Well, here you go. This is a straight-up energy deck. It's not fooling around. It's got Bristling Hydras, too. Yeah, it's not fooling around with any of that newfangled nonsense. Wow, it's really not, is it? It's just straight-up energy deck.
Yeah. One of the things to keep in mind is that whenever you get a rotation, the decks that don't lose much, aside from having the luxury of already existing, may lose some of their predators. So we'll find out eventually how these things evolve, but they don't really have a lot of reason to pull in new cards yet.
True. As the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't put new cards in it. Right? Yeah. In 7th place, John Toon is also running a very similar 4-color energy deck, This one does have a Sky Sovereign console flagship in it because beef. It's what you beat your opponent with.
Oh.
Yeah, you thought it was for dinner. Nope, it's a weapon.
That's fair.
Well, it's not a weapon, it's a vehicle. Beef, it's what you drive.
I mean, it benefits from the Rootbound Crag, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, it's a buddy land.
What? Wait, I was talking about Sky Sovereign. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the only other new cards.
Oh.
In it at all, it's like they benefit a little bit from the mana fixing because it's a 4-color deck.
Oh, I forgot. Rootbound Crag is new again.
Yeah. It was around for like 5 years, and now it's new again.
That's so eerie.
Yeah. But when you're 4-color, it matters.
My brain can't. It just can't. All right, then. So, rounding out the top 8, we have Esper Gift by Brennan DeCandio. And this is God Pharaoh's Gift.
Yeah.
And this
has new cards in it.
Yeah, so I'm just going to run through the list. So it's running Walking Ballista, of course.
Yep.
It's running Angel of Invention, that limited all-star that, didn't see any sort of constructed play. Flying Vigilance, Lifelink, Fabricate 2, other creatures you control get +1/+1 on a 2/1 Angel for 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Seems good. Champion of Wits, because eternalizing... Wait, what's Champion of Wits do? No, never mind. Wrong card. Oh, I'm thinking of the God Pharaoh's Gift. God Pharaoh's Gift and our Angel of Invention. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It's very large, especially when you fabricate.
Yeah. And the Champion of Wits is there for the same reason. Like eternalizing it or using the God Pharaoh's Gift for it is really funny. The God Pharaoh's Gift, for those that don't remember, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, you eternalize it. You get a 4/4 token of it, and it has haste.
Yep.
Now, that stays there. It doesn't go away at the end of turn. You have this now. Thank you.
Yeah, eternalizing an Angel of Invention is suddenly you're taking 8 lifelink Flying Vigilance right now.
8?
6, sorry. 6. The Fabricate only bumps that, yeah.
Right.
So it's only 6.
So let's see, what else do we have? Oh, look, Hostage Taker. Huh. Hey, you know what's even better than Hostage Taker? A 4/4 Hostage Taker that you didn't pay for. Seems good.
Yeah.
You've got the Minister of Inquiries to throw cards in your graveyard. Seeker's Squire, the 1/2 for 2. When it enters the battlefield, it explores. Seems good.
Yeah.
I guess that's just because there's no other early game. I'm guessing, exploring is just going to be good in general.
Exploring is just good.
Yeah.
I mean, you benefit from the land, and if it happens to pop out as a 2/3, then, it'll buy you some time. And then later on, once it's been cashed in some kind of trade, it comes back as potentially a 5/5.
Could be. And then you have Vona, Butcher of Magan. Magan? Anyway. The 4/4 Vigilance Lifelink Vampire Knight for 5 mana that you tap and pay 7 life to vindicate a non-land permanent. Destroy target non-land permanent.
Yeah, that's where
good.
That Angel of Invention bringing that life back actually matters a lot.
Yeah, and this guy has lifelink too, so even better.
Yeah.
And it's also running Chart a Course. Draw 2 cards, discard a card unless you attacked with a creature this turn. Which is probably fine to just draw 2 cards and discard a card. Seems good.
Yeah.
And of course, because it's a God Pharaoh's Gift deck, it's running Gate to the Afterlife. Break it.
Yep.
Which, Gate to the Afterlife, sack it and go get a God Pharaoh's Gift. Yeah, you know that. It also gains you some life in the meantime. Yeah. Oh, and draws you cards. I forgot about that part.
It does a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. This whole deck is really funny, and I like it.
Yep. And then you've also, in the board, aside from some of the other fun things, you've got Vraska's Contempt, which is here to take care of whatever's bugging you.
Yup. Oh, and Cataclysmic Gear Hulk. Ooh.
I guess the white one.
That's funny. I'm gonna blow up all these things except for my things that I want to keep. And your things that you want to keep, but mine are better.
Here's a hint. I'm gonna probably, choose an artifact and a creature and be fine with my God Pharaoh's Gift and my Gear Hulk.
Probably. Yeah, so that sounds like fun. So that's the top 8. Cluze, you awake?
I am.
Excellent. Because it's a brand new standard, I'm actually going to open up the top 16 real quick and run through the ones that are new and interesting. So, Teamer Energy, nothing terribly new here. A few things on the sideboard. The Death Gorge Scavenger. There's Ripjaw Raptors in the sideboard. Huh. Ooh. Ripjaw Raptor. That's the Enrage. Yeah, the Enrage draw a card guy.
Yep.
4/5 for 4. That's pretty good. Grixis Control. Here we go. In 10th place, Torrential Gearhulk and the Scarab God. And then the rest is just control cards. Burn, Counter Magic, Card Draw, Opt, Sweltering Suns. You know, just all of that. Ooh, and there's a Battle at the Bridge in the sideboard. Whoo, that's funny. Let's see. Ramunap Red. Oh, new card. Rigging Runner. What is this? A 1/1 for 1 Goblin Pirate with first strike. Oh, and it has raid, enter with a +1/+1 counter. Oh. Okay. Other than that, it's the same deck. Oh, it's also got Rampaging Ferocidon in the board. Oh, this guy! 3/3 for 3. Menace. Players can't gain life. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. Oh, and it's got Vance's Blasting Cannons, too. The red legendary enchantment. Which, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it this turn. And whenever you cast your 3rd spell in a turn, it transforms into the Spitfire Bastion, which for 2 red and tap deals 3 damage to target creature or player.
Pew pew.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. It's like Ramunap Ruins without the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So more burn, more reach. I like it. 4-color energy deck. This one has the Ripjaw Raptor in the main. Just one, though. And Ronus the Indomitable. And Saheeli Rai. What?
Yeah.
Why? Just for value? For creating copies of your energy dudes? Maybe?
I mean, you could argue that making a copy of your Glorybringer ends the game for them, but...
Ooh, okay, that's a good point. That's just neat. I mean, making a copy of your Glorybringer or your Bristling Hydra, or... I mean, even a Ripjaw Raptor having a second 4/5 suddenly hit the board.
Yeah, where if they block it, you get a card.
Well, I mean, presumably you would do that when they can't bother blocking it, just to hit them in the face.
I mean, presumably, but like it's sort of a win-win on that spot. Like, if you're only going to get it for 1 turn anyway, you're either getting 4 damage or a card out of it.
And that seems fine for -2 on Saheeli.
Yeah. Like, she's not doing some, cat hacks or anything, but she's still good.
Any what? I'm sorry?
Cat hack.
That's what I was afraid you said.
Yeah, it's a legal term.
Oh, it is, yeah. It's also got Carnage Tyrants in the board. This one that everyone was all lit up about. The 7/6 can't be countered trample hexproof for 6 mana.
Yeah.
My prediction was that card would make a lot of noise before the set came out, and then no one would actually play it, or it'd be like a one-of in sideboards.
It has all of the elements of that.
Yeah, it's a thing we've seen many, many times. Oh my god, it can't be countered. It's so good, and then no one plays it.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to get super hyped up over a 6-mana card that doesn't get played, because for 6 mana, you can just win the game a lot of the time.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
hey, look.
This is a creature.
It's also got Tempest Caller. When it enters the battlefield, tap all creatures target opponent controls for 2 blue. Whoo, that seems good. Especially in a deck that is trying to build up to 1 big attack.
I mean, if you're running Saheeli.
Yeah. All right then. So that's a fun little variation on the energy deck. There's a green-black energy deck in 13th place that's more what we're used to. It's running the Greenbelt Rampager, the 1-drop elephant, the Siphoner, the Ballista, the Verdurous Gearhulk. Yeah, this is exactly the deck from like 2 standards ago. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. A Sultai energy deck that is that deck that we just talked about, but with Hostage Taker.
Run Die Young.
Hostage Taker and Rogue Refiner and Scarab God. Yeah, there we go. Get in there.
People run Die Young. Have we just not noticed that being in these decks?
I think it's occasionally there.
It feels out of, like, I get why you would run it. It just feels out of place because it never seemed that efficient.
Oh, yeah, it's really not terribly efficient. But every once in a while, you just want to kill stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another Ramunap Red deck. This one's got a Rampaging Ferocidon in the main. Stop all the... Oh, and it's got Vance's Blasting Cannons in the main. Woo! Get in there. And then another Ramunap Red rounding out the top 16 with none of the fancy new stuff in the main, but it is running Rampaging Ferocidon in the board.
4 of them.
Yeah, like a full set. Cluze, you awake?
I am.
Okay. You've just
I
been...
just didn't have any input on those. I'm sorry.
But they're red.
Yeah, well, I was over looking at the top 8 in the standard classic. Is that what they're? Yeah, classic.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the Vance's Blasting Cannons there, Cluze, as the red player here? The most red player here, that is.
The most red player?
Out of the three of us. Yeah.
Wait, all this time you guys have not been red players?
You're more
I'm totally a red player, but I'm also willing to play blue.
Wait, what?
It's like he doesn't know us anymore. Or
It's like I've been playing Jeskai decks for the last 10 years, and you never noticed.
So yeah, the Vance's Blasting Cannons. So it's a pretty big mana investment for a red deck. I mean, 4 mana, but it gains you that extra oomph when your hand is empty, because by the time you have 4 mana to cast it, you've probably cast most of your stuff. So, I like it. I haven't had a chance to play with it myself, so I don't really know how well it goes. Now, once you get it to transform, oh, yeah.
Oh, it's completely sick, yeah.
It's bonkers, and I like that a lot. What I don't know, because again, I haven't had a chance to play this format, is just how often folks are actually getting it to flip.
Yeah, like the problem that I would see with it is that by the time you get around in this sort of deck, by the time you get around to casting it, your hand's running low.
Yeah, you're out of gas.
That's the point, is that it gets you that third card every turn. Or
it gets you a third card, but you have to have a third card after taking a turn off to cast this.
Yeah.
Like, as weird as it is, I think I would be more comfortable with this in a deck when you somehow gotten to 6 lands, drop this in 2 shocks and immediately flip it, than trying to do it the proper way. But I mean, that's even less likely in your red deck.
I guess that's why it's just been in sideboards or very small numbers thus far, is because they're feeling it out.
Yeah.
Or because it's useful, but not frequently enough to have more than 1 or 2 in the deck.
Yeah. I'm skeptical because even if you had enough cards afterwards, like, what is your game state? Now you've done another turn of casting a bunch of really cheap stuff, and you get to flip it over, and 3 damage is cool, but what have you done the whole game? Like, getting to do 3 damage a turn in your red deck on turn 5 when your opponent's still at 12 is not good for you. You're probably out of cards now.
Yeah.
But I have not played it. Be curious to see. I'm sure there's more going on than I realize, because like the cards in here are cheap. It could be very likely that you cast this, turn 4. Turn 5, you immediately cast what you need to flip it, and then, I don't know, still have enough mana left, because it's not like you tap it, but it's also tapping 4 lands to do 3 damage, so you probably can't use it that turn anyway.
That's true. You've also got the possibility of using Bomat Courier to refill your hand, which I always forget what that card does.
I mean, it'll take a while.
Well, I mean, it's not like you need to have 7 cards under it. You can pay the red, discard your nothing or your 1 card, your Earthshaker Kenra maybe, and then get, let's say, 3 cards from your Bomat Courier.
It sort of makes me wonder how often Bomat Courier actually connect.
I mean,
by connects, I mean doesn't die.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, they're obviously running it. Just, this is one of those things where, because I'm not playing in standard, I can see how the cards work, but I don't know how they work against everything else around them.
Yeah, the nuances are lost on us. That's okay. We're a news show. You don't come to us for nuance, right?
I'll completely fess up to the fact that I can tell you what all these cards do and I can make guesses, but having not played them, I can't tell you what this deck does against other decks.
Yeah. So let's see. Just glancing at deck names all the way down. In 27th, there's Esper Control, which is an approach to the second Sun deck with different cards. Okay.
Is it because it has duress in it?
Maybe.
Is that the line?
There's Grixis Improvise. Is this... Ooh, this is different. In 31st, Peter McKinney is running Grixis Improvise. It's running Contraband Kingpin, Herald of Anguish, Maverick Thopterist. What? Tezzeret the Schemer? What?
Yeah, this is somebody's pet deck that they play well. It could be legit, but I question that.
Cog Workers Puzzle Knot.
This is a very different deck.
Wow. Prophetic Prism Renegade Map. Wow. Sentinel Totem. What? Servo Schematic. Sorceress Spyglass. Whoa. What are we trying to do here? I mean, clearly we're digging a lot. Do what?
They're improvising.
Oh, maybe that's why it's called that.
I mean, the mechanic's in there, but let's be real. Looking at this deck, you are improvising against everybody.
I'm just trying to figure out what it's doing. It's got the Scarab God, which is, I mean, almost a win condition in and of itself.
Yeah.
With enough other dudes. What does this version of Tezzeret do? You get Ethereum cells, right? Something gets plus X minus X, right? You get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn. Target artifact becomes a 5/5. Okay. But that takes, what, 7? Well, I guess he starts at 5. Okay,
That's still debatable.
I just can't figure out what the end game here is other than, use Herald of Anguish to fly over and punch your opponent to death.
I mean, it's got a lot of control elements.
Not really?
So you got 4 Metallic Rebuke, got 4 Fatal Push, you got 1 Sorcerer's Spyglass, so you're sitting on 9 control spells right there. A little bit of ramp.
Everything else is just,
make some tokens?
It's just nonsense. So, okay, dear listeners, if you know what's going on with this deck, please poke me on Twitter, because I'm curious. This is what Bill was just saying. I know what all these cards do, but I can't see how this wins a game of Magic in the current standard environment. I mean, it finished 31st, and there were how many people playing? Whoops, wrong link. There were 586 people playing, so, I mean, it did it right.
Stuff. We aren't claiming it doesn't, we just don't understand.
Yeah, I just don't get what it's trying to do. I get that it's got the Contraband Kingpin and whatnot, and it's digging hard. I just can't tell why it's digging hard. So let's leave that and move on. More approach, more gift, more red, energy. Mardu vehicles, what?
Well, that's not in the right year.
More energy. Dinosaurs in 45th, what? Yep.
Grr dinosaurs.
Straight up dinosaurs. Carnage Tyrant, Deathgorge Scavenger, Drover of the Mighty, the Otepec Hunt Master, Regisar Alpha, Ripjaw Raptor, and Samut the Tested. Holy crap. And Commune with Dinosaurs, and Savage Stomp. Holy crap.
Yeah, your Planeswalker is giving double strike to a dinosaur.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, actually, that's interesting. The -2 ability that lets you distribute 2 damage across 2 creatures or players might actually be pretty entertaining in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, the only enrage card it's got is the Ripjaw Raptor, but
yeah,
-2 draw card I'm good with that, I think.
-2 draw a card and ping something.
Yeah, seems good. Well, that's pretty funny. More red, more energy, more red, more approach, more red. Oh, white, green, vampires. I'm sorry, what?
I don't like it.
In 59th place. Okay, so we've got the guy who you can pay 4 life to make indestructible, Angel of Invention, Duskborn Skymarcher, Merfolk Branchwalker, the Dusk Apostle, Oketra, Ovia Pashiri Sage Lifecrafter.
Unexpected.
Very much so. And Rishkar Pima Renegade. And then Thopter Arrest, Legion's Landing, and Dusk to Dawn. Oh, it's just making a crap load of tokens.
It's just a green-white deck.
Yeah, it's a green-white tokens deck.
Yeah, calling it vampires is kind of misleading.
Just a little bit, yeah. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Like, when you're going wide like that, Angel of Invention is hilarious to play.
Yeah.
But it seems like one board wipe and you are done for the day.
One board wipe and you are casting Dawn.
Oh. I mean, that helps.
I mean, not getting everything back, but it's your way of recovering.
I mean, it's getting everything but Oketra back. Yeah, it's getting everything but Oketra back. Whoo! And Oketra's indestructible anyway.
That's true, yeah. You're right, because it's going by power. So,
yeah.
Well, that's a plan.
Neat. All right, then. Well, let's stop digging all the way down to 64th and go to the Standard Classic, where Zach Elsick won with a Grixis Improvised deck. Oh, God, it's this deck!
Yep.
Wait, what? What? So this deck that we were just talking about that we don't know what the hell won the Classic.
Yep.
It's gotta be... Wait, what is Improvise? That's tap artifacts to pay for mana, right?
Yes.
It's gotta be just digging to be able to play the Herald of Anguish and the Scarab God faster. Right, make a lot of crap and then power those out and start hitting your opponent. It's gotta be all it does.
You would think.
There's Aethersphere Harvester too, let's not forget that. I'm just not seeing anything else. Like Tezzeret, I guess Tezzeret? A Tezzeret emblem? That's good when you've got a crap load of stupid artifacts that don't do much. But still, I'm just not... I don't know. I'm confused. I don't like it. In second place, Aaron Acosta is running a 4-color energy deck. Let me just open these up. We'll run through them real quick to make sure it's the sort of thing we're used to. This is third place, Bronson Gervasi. I apologize. It's running Ramunap Red with the Rampaging Ferocidon in the main. Just one, but hey, one's all you really need. It's sort of like the something Revel.
Something complete.
No, the creature who deals damage to each player when they do stuff.
Yeah, I just don't remember his name
something Great Revel, but I can't think of the first name. I'm sure once we get over to Modern, I'll see it. Oh well.
Eidolon?
Eidolon. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. You said it, and I'm like, I don't really. Is he? Oh, that. Yeah. Okay. Eidolon. Yeah.
You see what I mean? Yeah. It's hurting both of you, but it's hurting your opponent more. In theory. Yeah. In fourth place, Grixis Control, piloted by Michael Villavis. Oh God. Damn it! He placed in the top 8 just so I'd have to read his name, didn't he?
That's a good reason to do it.
Villavicencio. Let's go with that. But it's a Grixis Control deck with 4 Vraska's Contempt in the main. But pretty much everything else. Oh, and Search for Escanta. But it's got your Gear Hulks and your Scarab Gods and all of your control spells. Like you do. Maxwell Dressler in 5th is running Esper Gift. Very similar to... Oh, this one's got Sun Scourge Champion, which is pretty good for that last-minute life gain there. And Refurbish. This is not running the thing that goes to get your Godfarer's Gift. Huh. How about that? I've already forgotten the name of the damn card. You know the one I mean, right?
Yeah. We're going to have to learn these card names. I have a feeling if these decks are relevant, we will.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, sorry. Moving on. It was like a tier 3 deck before, so, I didn't bother to learn the name. In 6th place, Austin Sweeney is running a Sultai Energy deck. Yep. In 7th place, James Black is running Ramunap Red. Yep. Got Vance's Blasting Cannons in the board. And then Jace Phillips is running a 4-color energy deck in 8th place. With, what you'd expect. All right. Looking through more. Oh, there's a white-black tokens deck in 9th. Ooh, what do we got here? Anointer Priest. That makes sense. Master Trinketeer. That makes sense. Oketra. That makes sense. Anointed Procession. Oh my god. Hidden Stockpile. Fatal Push. Settle the Wreckage. Start to finish.
Wait for it.
Vraska's Contempt. Legion's Landing.
There you go.
Fumigate, Servo Expedition, and SRAM's Expertise. Huh.
Ram.
Okay, wait a minute. What's Legion's Landing turn into? So that's when it enters the battlefield, you get a vampire. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, it transforms into 2 a white and tap, create a 1/1 vampire with lifelink. Seems good.
Yeah. Transforms into be able to make a token every turn.
Which gets out of hand quickly.
Yeah. When they're all life linking, it sort of buys you time for the rest of your deck to do its job.
This is neat.
Kind of feel like this deck actually wants to have that angel in it.
Oh, crap.
Angel of Invention.
That's the one. Thank you. I'm like, I just got done talking about it.
I feel like this deck would benefit from that.
Possibly. Because that just says your other creatures, right? It doesn't have the Master Trinketeer, Servos, and Thopters rider. It's just your other creatures.
It's just your other creatures. It's like an anthem for everything but itself.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, then. Energy, red, energy, red. Blue, black, control. Yeah, okay, that's what you'd think. Hey, there's Walk the Plank. Look at that. Wow.
Pirates.
Energy. Black, red, aggro. What is this? Scrap Heap Scrounger, Dread Wanderer. Hey, remember that guy?
Didn't he get lost?
I mean, not necessarily. He's just wandering. Not all who wander are lost, Bill.
That was the setup, yes.
Yes. Glint Sleeve Siphoner, Night Market Lookout. Okay. Vicious Conquistador. Oh, wow. Look at all of this each opponent loses life nonsense. Hazaret, Yaheni Undying Partisan. Huh. Ethersphere Harvester, Fatal Push, Lightning Strike, Bontu's Last Reckoning. Huh. That is definitely black-red aggro. Yeah. I like it.
All right, then. Can we say that's standard for the week?
That looks like that's standard for the week, yeah?
Okay.
A few new things, nothing super new. Ramunap Red is, back on top. Energy
where it
decks,
belongs.
Energy decks are also on top. Probably more on top.
Not where they belong.
Probably more on top than red. There seem to be a lot more energy decks. We've got the gift decks and the approach decks, which are both really funny. Yeah. I can't imagine that they'll be doing terribly well once the format sorts itself out, because they seem kind of wonky and cute, but you never know.
It may take it a little bit longer to sort itself out because the Pro Tour isn't until early November. So we're not getting it just like 2 weeks later like we were before.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, so we don't get Pro Tour Ixalan until, when is it? You said early November?
November 3 to 5.
Ooh, damn.
So we have a month of this.
Sweet. Well, there you go then. So let's look at Modern real quick. Wait, how many people were in the Classic? Oh, 78. Wow, I spent way too long on a 78-person tournament. So there are 216 people playing Modern. Do what?
I was just, because I pulled up the schedule to make sure I was right on the Pro Tour date. There aren't any standard GPs between now and then. It's
really?
all limited.
Wow.
So like we've got World Championship coming up this week. Spoiler alert. Then we got Nationals weekend and then Eternal weekend and then a limited GP. And it's not till after all of that we actually get to the standard Pro Tour. So you might be looking at SCG for your standard decks for a month.
Huh, neat. All right, then. So, like I said, 216 people playing in the Modern Classic. Jacob Rodriguez won, playing Jund.
Nothing new.
Yeah, nothing going on here. In second place, Caleb Pomeroy is running Eldrazi Tron.
Nothing new.
Nope, not a thing. Now we know why Cluze was silent this whole time. He was going through the Modern decks. In third place, Caden Ford is running Bant Spirits.
Still nothing new?
Nothing, well...
Unless I missed something. Did I miss something?
I don't think so, but this one is fun, though. It's the Drugskull Captain with a bunch of crazy spirits, Mausoleum Wanderer, Nebelgast Herald, Rattle Chain, Selfless Spirit, Spell Queller, Geist of Saint Traff, don't forget he's a spirit, and then Steel of the Godhead. Which, I mean, we've talked about this deck in the past, but I still think it's really funny. It's a blue-white kind of sort of aggro deck. Oh, it's also running Collected Company. You know, just in case. You remember that card? Yeah.
Coco? Nope, never heard of it.
No, not a once.
It's like a cereal, right?
Yeah. Actually have Cocoa Pebbles in my cabinet right now. In fourth place, Steven Matthews is running a green-red Tron deck.
Still nothing new?
Nope, nothing going on here. It's what you'd expect. Now, here we go. In fifth place, Frederick Chenard, I'm going to say Chenard, is running a white-red prison deck.
And we've got one Settle the Wreckage in the side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because yeah, you're right. I've been going through these, and there's our first new card, fifth place, sideboard.
Yep, Settle the Wreckage. But this deck, Ajani Vengeant, Chandra Torch of Defiance, Elspeth Knight Errant, Gideon of the Trials, and Nahiri the Harbinger are your Planeswalker, 2 Ajani, 2 Chandra, and 1 each of Elspeth, Gideon, and Nahiri. But then you've got your Chalice of the Void, your Ensnaring Bridge, your Assemble the Legion, your Blood Moons, which don't forget, those work differently now, slightly. There's one Aurelia's Fury, which always strikes me as bizarre, but brilliant.
Well, it was that card that, from all appearances, was going to completely dominate at standard, and then it just didn't.
At all. And you've got Lightning Helix, Anger of the Gods, Wrath of God, and 2 Molten Rain, because you know what? Screw a non-basic land, you're taking 2 damage. Yep. I just like this deck. I don't like the hiccups. Oh, it's got Simian Spirit Guides too, because you want to go fast. In sixth place, Terrell Tristan is running Burn.
It's beautiful. Didn't need anything. Awesome.
And this one always trips me out, because it's modern version of the Legacy Burn deck. So you've got your Goblin Guides, your Grim Lavamancers, and your Taylor Swift Spear. And then you've got the things you'd expect, like Boros Charm, and Lightning Bolt, and Lava Spike. And then you've got things like Rift Bolt, and Bump in the Night, and Skull Crack.
You work with what you got.
Shard Volley, Searing Blaze. Like, they're all awesome. Oh, Burst Lightning. That's the one that first made me go, wait, what? Like, they're all good burn spells in their own right, but because I'm so used to the Legacy Burn deck, looking at, like, the B team here, it's like, oh yeah, these are also good cards.
Yeah.
You've also got the Shrine of Burning Rage in the sideboard, which is always good. 1 Rain of Gore, just in case. Just in case. I like it. I also spotted the art on Exquisite Firecraft again and went, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right, in 7th place, Mac Blanchard is running a blue-red Gifts Storm deck.
It is also nothing new.
Oh, it's got Opt.
Oh.
Because Opt is newly modern legal. And I think
that's true. The old one was Invasion.
Yeah. I think that's it, though. And just the one Opt, We'll just put it 1. I don't know. And then there's the 8th place deck, which is the one that I really wanted to talk about, Elves.
Excellent.
So, hey, Cluze.
Yeah.
You've played Elves in Legacy.
I have.
So you can help us out with this Modern Elves deck. What exactly, other than, we get the point is to play an assload of Elves and then win with, like, Shaman of the Pack or Azuri Renegade Leader.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that's one way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's more to it than that, because you've got things like, like the Nettle Sentinel. Nettle Sentinel does silly things.
Nettle Sentinel does do silly things, particularly when coupled with things like Heritage Druid.
Yeah.
That's really, that is an engine all onto itself, right? If you can get enough elves out, You're using Heritage Druid to tap 3 untapped elves, any elves, not the Heritage Druid itself necessarily, but any elves.
Mm-hmm.
And then your Nettle Sentinels will untap whenever you cast a green spell. It's all about triggers with the elves deck. Do you like triggers? If you like triggers, play elves.
So you're saying there's a trigger warning?
I'm saying there's probably going to be lots of trigger warnings here, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, the deck is like barfing out its hand. It's got 34 elves, all of which either make mana, make more elves, or pump your elves. Oh, or draw cards.
Or both pump your elves and make mana in the case of Elvish Archdruid.
Yeah, like it's completely insane. You've also got the Collected Company because, why not? You've got Lead the Stampede. Look at the top 5, reveal any number of creatures, and put them in your hand. Seems good. You've got a Throne of the God Pharaoh, which I hadn't even thought of. At the beginning of your end step, right? At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control.
Oh, that's
actually pretty good.
That's actually sweet.
Yeah, because you've been tapping all of your dudes for your Heritage Druids and to attack.
Man, I like that a lot. Oh, does that have a place in Legacy Elves?
I don't know.
Boy, I just don't know how you'd fit it in.
But there's one other card in particular we have to point out, and that's the growing rights of Itlimoc.
Yeah, I can't imagine why they'd want this card in Modern.
Yeah, the one that flips into Itlimoc Cradle of the Sun, also known as Not Quite Gaia's Cradle.
But so close.
So, hey, is Gaia's Cradle played in Legacy Elves?
It is, actually.
How about that?
You definitely want that in Legacy Elves.
So it's not Modern legal, but what if you only had to jump through a very small 3-mana hoop to get one? Think it'd be worth it in Modern?
I think it's definitely worth trying. I'll say that.
Yeah. So they did. They threw it in here because it's legendary and the land itself is legendary, right? Yeah, good.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, remember, what's you have to have 3, if you control 4 or more creatures. Yeah, that's probably...
in your elf stack.
Yeah.
There's a real good chance that that's happening.
It's probably not a problem.
That top part of it where you look at the top 4 cards, reveal a creature, and, put it in your hand is also helpful in elf stack. So
yeah, a little bit.
Because you're going to be able to cast it.
Almost certainly.
Oh, and for those who don't know what a Gaia's Cradle does, it's the same thing as the backside of the Itlimoc, which is tap, add a green to your mana pool for each creature you control. Yeah.
Yeah, that is not a small number.
No, not by the time you're doing this.
You'll have enough mana.
Now, you could argue that this is even... Well, no, you can't. Never mind. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Oh.
No, started to say something, decided it was dumb, decided not to say it. There you go. Control. Woo. Turning it over a new leaf.
So, Cluze.
Yeah.
What do you do with all that mana? Is it for Azuri?
Well, I suspect it's for Azuri shenanigans.
Yeah.
I would use it to cast a Craterhoof Behemoth.
But there isn't one.
There's not one in here. So...
And that is totally Modern legal.
Azuri has 2 activated abilities for those who don't know elves or remember Azuri. He's a 2/2. He costs 1 green. He's legendary, so don't do anything stupid. For a single green, you regenerate another target elf. So he can't save himself, but he can save pretty much everybody else if there's a board wipe and you have enough green mana lying around. For 2 green, so a total of 5 mana, elf creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. And if you have buckets of mana lying around, you just go ahead and activate that more than once.
That's what I was thinking.
This is what's known as going ham.
Yeah, because they'll get... It is?
That's what I'm going to call it. You're going ham on Azuri, and then you win.
Alrighty then.
So how do you feel about the new card in the board?
Let's see, is that the Shaper's Sanctuary? Yeah, Shaper's Sanctuary. So costs a single green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. I feel pretty good about that, actually. Because they're going to want to spot removal a few things, like, say, your Heritage Druids. They definitely want those out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah, they do.
And they'll get them.
Yeah.
But now you get a card.
That's right.
Hopefully drawing you closer to another one.
I really like the Shaman in the pack, honestly.
Oh, yeah, you do. Because, I mean, it's the only card in the deck where you could just, oh, hey, I win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially if you draw a second one.
Yep. Oops, I won.
I also like the Driven to Despair in the deck. Driven.
Yeah.
Until end of turn, creatures you control gain trample, and whenever this deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. And then Despair, the Aftermath side, until end of turn. I really, really hate that I have to turn my head to read this. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. Like the Despair side of that, even with just a small handful of elves, is just I win, because they all have menace. And even if you don't win, they've discarded a bunch of cards.
Yeah, they're in top deck mode at that point.
Yeah. So I just like that this deck has so much going on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to be super technical. Like, since you're not trying to win with a giant elf ball, or
I mean, I think you're
have the Wirewood symbiote triggers and all that nonsense. Oh god, that used to make my head hurt so much watching people.
Yeah, you're not building up to a Crater Hoof explosion. You're just going to kill them by normal elf technology.
Yes, that is the sound of inevitability. That's what that is.
Yeah, I think the most challenging parts about playing the deck would actually be knowing what to grab for Coco.
Yeah,
because you're going to get some choices.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the Elves deck. What else is going on in Modern? We've got Scape Shift in 9th, Scred Red. I haven't seen one of those in a little while. Dude, it's running Eternal Scourge and Glorybringer. What? Wow, look at that. It's running Eternal Scourge. Why is it running Eternal Scourge? And Glorybringer and Stormbreath Dragon. Chandra Torch of Defiance, Koth of the Hammer, and of course Snow-Covered Mountains and Scrying Sheets. Because otherwise, why bother with the Scred part of it?
Yeah. You can... I'm looking for things to do with Eternal Scourge other than just Chandra.
I mean, it'll come back after your Anger of the Gods, so you mean that's a thing. You've got the Chandra thing. I think it's just there because it never goes away. It's like a constant little threat that you can just get.
So you block something with Eternal Scourge, then so it goes to your graveyard. Sad. Then you Relic Exile it from your graveyard and cast it again.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work for your 3/3, but I mean it never goes away.
Yeah, it'll be there forever. You
have enough interaction to keep that happening, and obviously, if it happens to be the thing you +1 with Chandra, you could not cast it, deal 2 damage to each opponent, and then cast it.
And then cast it. Yeah, look at that.
Which is funny.
So yeah. Anyway, good old Scred Red.
Rabble.
Jesky Delver, which I'm guessing is supposed to be Jesky Delver, and it's just a slight mistype.
No, it's Jet Ski Delver.
Oh, it's a okay. So it's a typo.
It's like Coast Guard or something. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's what the blue is for. For your jet skis.
There's an 8 rack in 12th place. That's always funny. Don't see anything different.
I don't know what you would have added to it.
Well, I'm just making sure it hasn't evolved any. I don't see anything different from previous versions of 8 rack. Whoop. Death's Shadow, of course. More elves. Blue-red Breach.
Breach.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's a blue-red control deck with Emrakul and Through the Breach. Yeah. Okay. Neat. Yeah, the rest looks pretty normal. So, yeah. There you go. That's your Modern. Yay.
Huzzah.
The non-rotating format is not nearly as disrupted.
Not nearly. So as Bill hinted at earlier, don't forget the 2017 World Championship is this weekend, October 6th through the 8th. It will be on the Magic Twitch channel. Your 24 players are, duking it out to become world champion. Yay!
Whoa. Magic.
What is that?
Deck builder game?
It's like Pokemon.
No, let's go with Deck Master.
Oh.
Did you say like Pokemon?
I did. Yeah.
Just checking.
So you're saying this is a paper version of Hearthstone?
I don't know that either side would be happy about that.
I know I wouldn't be.
It's like a paper version of Arena.
Oh, yeah. That thing that isn't out yet.
Well, that's why we don't play it.
Yeah.
Got to get in that beta.
Also, we have... So, yeah, that's that. Also, we have the Ixalan Planeswalker deck lists that we haven't recorded since these were revealed. So,
yeah,
if you care about those, the link is in the show notes, I suppose.
Yeah, if you care about those and you haven't just gone and looked at them in your local store, here it is.
Yeah. So, I guess... Is that everything before Magic Online? I think that's everything before Magic Online.
I think
Feels
so.
like it.
All right. Then... Take it away,
Magic Online. Yeah, so the normal disclaimer of most of the news popping up Tuesdays and Wednesdays and us recording Mondays, plus the added disclaimer of how I'm not going to dig out stuff more than a week old because it's really unlikely to matter at this point. But a lot of the stuff came out last week. So obviously, since the last time we recorded, they released Ixalan Online. Gasp. Day after pre-release nonsense. To my knowledge, they did not accidentally release it for the pre-release this time, but I'm going to keep bringing that up because it's still funny. But yeah, you got that. They've changed up the redemption process slightly. Previously, Magic Online redemptions happened during downtimes, which meant that if there was no downtime in a given week, they wouldn't process it. So for a while there, I would just warn you when they weren't doing those. But now they've changed it so it processes every Thursday morning between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. Pacific time. So if you want to redeem a set, make sure you purchase the appropriate redemption object from the Magic Online store. And yeah, the following Thursday, they should start the process. Also, make sure that none of the cards that you're trying to redeem are actually being used in league or tournament or up for trade, because that will mess things up. Don't do that. Going down to more specifically interesting things, they've rolled some extra updates in when Ixalan went online. So obviously they rotated standard. So Battle for Zendikar, Oath of the Gatewatch, Shadows over Innistrad, and Eldritch Moon all went away. So bye. Obviously by extension, Ixalan was added to constructed legal, and that does include the reprints. So you can use the older cards if you have them. Pretty standard stuff, but they had to update the coding on that. They did implement the Legend Rule / Planeswalker change, because Planeswalkers are what you get when you don't spell check your announcements. You gotta watch out for that.
Spell checking. What if they just never added the word Planeswalker, so it's gonna pop up with the little red line under it anyway?
I would be more entertained if they'd accidentally done the old thing and it was the Planeswalk mechanic for the thing where if they have a planes they can't block. That would have been a lot funnier as a typo.
I think it was on one card ever.
It was on exactly one card.
Wasn't it an antelope?
Yeah, it was some kind of land mammal that nobody cares about because they're like, this is a really stupid mechanic, but we're doing a cycle. It made more sense for things that swim or things that can creep through swamps and stuff. But yep, they did one for planes.
Oh, no,
but yeah,
it was on several.
Oh, was it? I stand corrected then already. But yeah, so your Planeswalkers are now legendary, and the Planeswalker uniqueness rule has gone away per paper.
Okay, real quick. So we've got the Aeson Highway, an enchantment that gives all white creatures planeswalk. There's the Graceful Antelope, which is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
The Boggart Arsonists from Shadowmoor, who have planeswalk, and they destroy scarecrows or planes. So, there's that. Great Wall says creatures with planeswalk can be blocked as if they didn't have that ability. So does Lord Magnus.
Yeah.
There's the Righteous Avengers, which are a 3... Wait, does that say 3/1? A 3/1 with planeswalk for 4 and a white. Oh, and there's the Zodiac Rooster, which is...
Yeah.
Silly. From Portal 3 Kingdoms, not from an unset.
It just sounds like it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, note that was 2 hate cards on a mechanic featured on 4 other cards.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's on 5 cards technically. 2 hate cards for it. Wow.
Yeah. Pretty awful. But yeah, so The entertaining thing that resulted from that is that they implemented all of these changes on September 20th, which meant that for the last 5 days of the modern cube, they were operating under the Legend Planeswalker situation. So, in its own weird way, for the very end of that quote-unquote format, they changed the rules. So, those of you who managed to get multiple copies of, or rather, multiple Planeswalkers with the same name, the rules changed right there at the end. But whatever, that's silly. One thing that didn't go into effect at that point was the thing we mentioned earlier about the layers for Blood Moon and dual lands and other similar effects. That goes into effect on the October 11th downtime. So for a little bit now, you'll still have to know the things that we said went away. So
gotcha.
And you know all of this because rather than just looking at the website, you wander over to the Tumblr where they post important things sometimes. Of course. Also, something that we missed because we didn't record last week is they did a bug blog update. Yay.
Bug blog.
Yes. Yep, this one went up on September 21st. Yeah, so we had just missed that one. There were not a lot of new issues, but there were two. So first off, this thing that I'm glad I don't have to pronounce on a regular basis, Unesh Cryosphinx Sovereign. If that or similar creatures have their creature type changed, they do not trigger, which is weird. So
because it looks for other sphinxes. Got it.
Yeah, which is strange because specifically it whenever it or another sphinx, and so it's like, well, it's not a sphinx anymore, so it can't another. So never mind.
Damn, that's eerie.
It's weird that it actually understands that. Like. That's actually a harder coding than I would have expected for it to process another that way. But there you have it. And slightly more entertainingly in its own way, Fathom Feeder, the Eldrazi drone, that creepy. If it's activated on an opponent's turn, it also exiles the top card of your library.
Whoops.
Its effect, cutting to the chase is spend 5 mana, draw a card. Each opponent exiles the top card of their library. Apparently, on your opponent's turn, it considers you to also be an opponent and decides it will also eat cards from your library, which is extra weird because it's an ingest card. So, yeah, figure that one out. I guess it's hungry. But yeah, those are the two newly added known issues. They actually fixed a whole bunch of things. I'm not going to go down the fixed list. If you want to keep up with the stuff, take the link in the show notes. You should be familiar with everything on the known issue list so that 1, you can avoid headaches when you don't know why your cards aren't working properly. And 2, if you find your opponent's taking advantage of this, you can report them for cheating because that's cheating. So, and that's pretty much where Magic Online's floating right now. It tends to quiet down a bit after a new set comes out. So just be aware of that nonsense.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Nice. So, I guess that's Magic Online.
Yep.
Hey, when's the next, Throwback Standard Gauntlet?
I don't know.
No, neither.
In the future.
Standard... Would that be in the, upcoming events?
For Magic Online?
Hey! Oh, excuse me, I could not get to the mute fast enough.
That's terrifying. I would have to dig out the article where they originally announced them.
Yeah, the ones at the beginning of September are listed, and there aren't any listed for October or, well, if you're on October and you hit next, it jumps to December, so that's awkward. But when you go back, it goes back to November. And there aren't any listed, so I'm guessing there aren't any coming up anytime soon.
Oh, well, that's sad.
That is sad. Those are fun. All right, then. So, I guess, is that it for this episode? It sounds like that's it for this episode.
I think
Feels that way.
Nice. Well, then, before we get to our sign-outs, I would like to unwrap my... What? Guys, I wish that I had the camera handy. Like, I would show you this. Somehow, the cord running from my headset, to the computer, has tied itself into a knot.
Maybe it's trying to make sure your headphones can't invert themselves while you're playing Overwatch.
Well, that just happened. God, that's so frustrating. If anybody knows why my left and right headphones want to switch randomly in the middle of a game while playing Overwatch, please let me know. It doesn't do it during any other game. It's just Overwatch. and it makes it impossible to play because I think everything is backwards, and it's really frustrating. But I was gonna take my headset off real quick and unravel this, but it's not raveled, it's tied. Damn, that's eerie. Anyway, so I would like to take a moment to thank my patrons. Starting with this month here in October, the highest tier on the Mana Pool Patreon will get you not only your name on the end slate for all of the YouTube videos that go up in that month, but I'll also read your name off at the end of each Monday Night Magic and Mana Pool episode. So a big thanks goes out to, and also I sent a message to all of them asking, how do I pronounce your name? And they haven't all gotten back to me yet. So apologies if I screw up your name, but a big thanks to, in the order that they were on Patreon, which is no uncertain order. I don't understand this order at all. Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al Thiel, Chris Lansdell, Timu Helisharju. I really wanted you to get back to me about how to pronounce your name, but I just sent the email a few hours ago. Daniel Hall, John, Stuart Slough, I think is how you say your name, PJ McMullen, Bosco Brittain, Casey, Nathan Hay, AJ Javiaris. I think I screwed your name up too. Cody Buckawing, Jacob Janssens, Jason Kaus, Gothic Man, that's Patrick, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum, Daniel Holm, Michael Millerburn, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Yay. So thank you all so much. Okay, we may continue now. So, sign-outs? I didn't want to leave it to the very end because then everyone would just stop listening.
Sure. So before we sign out, I managed to track down what the next standard throwbacks are.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they're posted at the bottom of another article because, this is the thing that was posted in early August, so it had a schedule in it.
Oh.
So just for a rundown, so right now they're doing the Ixalan, and that'll be going on until the end of October. As per tradition, the last week of October, they're going to do a flashback Innistrad draft. Nice. So triple Innistrad draft for Halloween. November 1st to 8th, they're going to do an Innistrad era throwback standard gauntlet.
Ooh.
So I'll definitely know how to talk about that because I actually played that standard a bit. It's one of the only times I played standard regularly. So we can talk about that. November 8 to 17, which is not a week, it's weirder. They have what they're calling a recent past throwback standard gauntlet. So I have no idea what that means. Probably not very throwback. And then something I don't think they explained to us, but December 6th to 13th, they have a Gauntlet of Greatness. So that sounds like a bad artifact.
It'll just be Bob Marr punching people.
I would watch that.
I would too. He's
can we get that with or without the Twitch chat? No. Can he punch the Twitch chat?
He's a large refrigerator of a man, so I would not mind watching him punch people.
I would like to watch him punch the Twitch chat. That would be wonderful. But yeah, so those are the upcoming things there, just while I have them here before people message us.
Nice.
So into sign-offy stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at Squee Goblin Nabob. There's no I in Goblin because it's still on vacation after last week and I couldn't be bothered to find it. Past that, you can find me in person in a few weeks in Chapel Hill, North Carolina at Cosplay America convention. It's one that I run the programming on, and we've recently posted a schedule. So if you like costuming, you like theater makeup, movie props, making prosthetics, doing anything that ultimately involves funny costumes or pictures or movies being made, we've got lots of programming, international guests, all kinds of stuff going on there. Check it out if you're in the area. If you're into the cosplay hobby, you'll probably enjoy it because we've got everything from entry level, what is a sewing machine and how do I not hurt myself, to advanced, okay, I've hurt myself, but now I can do cool stuff. So it's worth checking out. Past that, I will note that I did watch Inhumans, and my main takeaways on Inhumans are, yeah, a lot of the parts could be better, but it gave me a giant teleporting dog, and really that's all I want. So
yay, Lockjaw.
I will continue to watch. So that's about it for me. I will hand it over to Cluze.
Okay, hey, your best way to get a hold of me is always the Twitters, where I am at Lacluyze, spelled just like it is in the show notes. Keep looking up, I recommend that you go out and check on your own sky, because even if I do a sky check locally, that may not be how your sky is currently behaving. In theory, there's some new episodes of Random Discard that are going to get posted now that I know how to log into MTGcast again.
Yay!
That was broken for a while, at least my ability to do so. Because Chewie told other people, but not me. But he told me, so now I know how.
To be fair, I didn't tell anybody until they asked, so...
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Carry on.
Wayward Son?
Sure.
Oh, were you done?
Yeah. That's over to you, Chewie.
Oh.
Well, in that case, there's peace.
Yeah, because I am done, yes. I see what you did there.
I don't get it.
Never mind.
Read a book.
Will you tell me when I'm older?
If you were older, you'd get it.
I don't get it. This is the crap I have to deal with, dear listeners. So, me. I got nothing. Let's see. Have I done anything interesting lately? I watched
you've
Hercules.
been streaming things.
I watched Hercules on Netflix.
Like the Disney or
Disney's
the
Hercules?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The good one. So
that was pretty good.
That was pretty good. I watched The Tick. I think I mentioned that before. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I don't do anything for fun. But in the last few weeks I've streamed a few things. Streaming schedule has been a little off lately because of, real life. For instance, I'm not streaming tomorrow night because I have to drive to Charleston, West Virginia and back. So by the time I get home from that, I'm not going to feel like being entertaining whatsoever. But I have streamed Halo Wars because I want to play through the single-player campaign on Halo Wars. Well, okay, let me start over. I want to play through the single-player campaign for YouTube's of StarCraft because StarCraft Remastered came out, and Mike from Blizzard was good enough to shoot me a copy. So I was going to play that. And then I realized I don't know anything about real-time strategy games other than Halo Wars because I played Halo Wars on the 360 and just played it a lot. I finished the single-player campaign on Legendary. I got all the skulls, all that stuff, so it's pretty awesome. It's also the only Halo game I've ever spent any time with. So I decided I would play Halo Wars first using the mouse and keyboard because it was built to be played with a controller, straight up, because, those guys knew what they were doing. But because I want to play StarCraft, I need to get good using a mouse and keyboard for that sort of thing, because I've been a console gamer my whole life. So I decided I'd play a familiar game with unfamiliar controls first, so that when I transition over to StarCraft, I could play an unfamiliar game with less unfamiliar controls. Am I making sense here? Is my logic sound?
You're going to need more pylons.
Yeah, you must construct additional pylons.
I mean, I'm sure I will eventually, but not yet. See, because wrong game. So I did some streaming of just some AI skirmishes in Halo Wars just to get used to using the mouse and keyboard. And I have to say, it was kind of nice. Especially now that I've learned how to set up control groups and what control groups are. So, again, RTS noob, other than the campaign mode of Halo Wars. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. But I love the story mode in Halo Wars, and it's a lot more... It's got a lot of bizarre things you have to do. I think there are 15 or 16 missions, and they're all different. It's not just, destroy your opponent like it would be for a multiplayer game, which I'm not going to play any multiplayer RTSs because I enjoy life and, don't want to wish I was dead, which is what happens when I play multiplayer real-time strategy games. So yeah, I streamed some of that. I've been streaming some Overwatch. I really need to get in and finish West of Loathing. Now that it's October, I really need to get in and finish The Walking Dead, which I had completely forgotten about because of the stupid copyright thing that happened. And then I got really busy and other things came up and this and that and the others. Excuses. So yeah, these are things I need to finish in October over on twitch.tv/themanapool. Yeah. And then over on YouTube, I have been slowly working my way through the Lich King fights on Hearthstone, the Knights of the Frozen Throne solo missions. I recorded one today where I was working on it for about 2.5, maybe 3 hours. It was not good times. It was warrior. And for those of you that know that, you're already like, oh, I'm sure. So, hey, you two that are here with me.
Yeah.
Let's say you had a magic opponent who started off the game by gaining... Well, they started the game at 160 life.
I don't like him.
No, you don't. So that's what he does. His first thing that he does is immediately gain 100 armor. So he already had 30 armor and 30 life. So now he's at 160. So, I mean, you'd think you wouldn't be able to rush him down because he's got 160 life. So you play the long control game and try to outlast him. But then let's say he's got this ability to deal 1 damage to you, and then the next turn it's 2, and then the next turn it's 3, and then the next turn it's 4. So you can't play the long game either. What do you do?
Okay, so is this a best of 3 match, or is this just a single game?
It's just a single game.
Concede and go to lunch.
I had already eaten lunch. So
Cluze is not a fighter.
Concede and second lunch?
So what about second lunch? So yeah, that was what I was dealing with.
Are there alternate loss conditions?
Sort of.
Can you mill him out?
You can, but you'll die in the meantime. See, that's the problem.
Because that is usually what happens when you try to mill people.
Because of that hero power that he has in the 3rd phase, he deals 1 damage to you, and then it goes up by 1 every turn. So,
is there a chat feature?
Not with the AI, no.
Oh,
why? What would I tell the AI?
Well, because you're supposed to, I believe, invoke something terrible about their mother, their upbringing, and just their personal self-worth, and then rage quit and report them to a moderator for cheating.
Ah, yeah, that would be nice.
Cluze, I thought you didn't play Overwatch with us.
Boy.
Sadly, it's the Lich King, so one of the things he says is, you play your cards like my father ruled his kingdom, weekly. And I was like, damn! So you can't even talk bad about his upbringing.
Mm.
So yeah, that was what I was faced with, and I kept thudding my head against the wall until I had an epiphany. And what's bad is that I had stopped the recording because I was just recording myself staring at my cards in the collection. So I reached over to stop the recording and slowly had this brilliant idea for a workaround. And I was explaining it as I went. I'm like, oh my God, what if hang on. But if I can't do that because I have a card that does that. And I built a deck and I said, yes, let's go. And I'll look over and it wasn't recording. I went, so I lost my entire
mind.
Let's say brilliant brilliant process for coming up with this deck. And I was so pissed. But yeah, I ended up making it work eventually by exploiting a loophole that made me feel sad. But it worked, and ha. So that video, I will take that 2.5 hours of footage and crumple it down into one video in the near future. Also, oh my God, and this is a video you guys might like too. I played a one-shot game over on YouTube. The game is called Dr. Langaskov, the Tiger, and the Terribly Cursed Emerald, a Whirlwind Heist. Cluze, whatever you just said, roboted out, and all I heard was brr.
Well, all I said was,
Oh, okay.
Because you just heisted his robot.
I did, yeah. And it's a very short game. It only takes 15 or 20 minutes to play, and it's brilliant. It's got a voiceover by, what's his name? Simon Amstell, I want to say. He's the British, narrator guy who's directing you. It's not at all what you'd expect. It's very meta. It's written by the same guy who did the, maybe not written by, but the game was produced by the same guy who did the Stanley Parable. So if that rings a bell, then, that'll ring a bell. And it was brilliant, and I highly recommend everybody. It's free to play on Steam, so if you're not going to watch my video, then go play it, or do both. So yeah, you know what? I like that video so much, I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes, so it's even easier for you. But it was really special, like damn. But anyway, so that's what I've been up to, and what I will be up to, and all of the things. So I'm going to shut up now, so you can find me all over the internet, the Mana Pool, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all of those things. I am the Manipool. And if you want to help support what I do, and maybe you can get your name read off at the end of every episode, then you can check out patreon.com/themanipool, where you can get YouTube videos and Manipool episodes early. You can get odds and ends, which is all of the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Manipool.
It's mostly swearing.
It's constantly swearing.
Maybe from you guys.
Mostly from Cluze. So, odds and ends from current episodes will go up within a week of the show being posted. And then in the meantime, all of the backlog will go up. Actually, that's what I was working on right before we started recording this. I was playing Heroes of the Storm while listening to an odds and ends at 1.5 speed and occasionally alt-tabbing to my notepad to take notes. Where I got to hear all three of us say, I don't think they're ever going to bring back corsets. Because this was recorded back in May or June, something like that, before they made the new announcement of, hey, look, we're sort of bringing back corsets, kind of maybe.
I don't think they're ever going to bring back Legacy.
Oh, now I'm sad.
No, it takes all three of us.
Also, in that odds and ends, I thought it was really funny that Cluze thought it was funny that how do I put this? A Twitter porn bot had liked one of his tweets where he was happy about the top ban.
Well, I mean, they are against tops.
I see what you did there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's been fun. So if you want to hear what goes on behind the scenes, it's us talking about the things that we do on either the one that just went up or the one that I was halfway through. We were talking about the old Generation X made-for-TV movie. You remember that night, Bill?
Man. That movie came out in like 1996.
Something like that, yeah. And we went from there into the history of comic book movies and TV shows.
I think I gave you screenshots of that.
Yeah, you sent me some screenshots.
Oh, man.
It was bad, but it was the best we had at the time because it was a made-for-TV movie.
Because it was the mid-90s.
Well, it was a made-for-TV movie about a relatively new comic series before comic book movies were a thing. Like, this was before Blade, even. Like, this is how old this was.
This is like after like Hasselhoff, Fury, and before good movies.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. It's before Blade. Because Blade is the genesis of the new superhero movie thing. It started with Blade.
Watchable comic book movies.
Yeah, it started with Blade, then it went to X-Men, then it went to Spider-Man, and it was over. And we went through like that history back in the day.
We're confining all of this to Marvel because DC made good movies before that. They just stopped when Marvel started making movies.
They stopped way before that.
And The Dark Knight was good.
Yeah, so was Wonder Woman, but there was this long line of crap before that. Like, you remember Superman 3 and 4 and Batman, let's say 2, 3, 4?
I liked Batman Returns.
Yeah, but it wasn't good.
That's fair.
Yeah. But anyway,
it's important that you have penguins with rockets on their backs.
These are all things that we talked about on that odds and ends. So there you go. This is just a little glimpse into what goes on in the when we're not recording the show. And of course, if you want, you can get the early stuff, the odds and ends, and get your name on the end slate of all the YouTube videos and read off at the end of every Monday Night Magic and Manipool episode. And yeah, thank you all so very much for your patronage. I really appreciate it. But we're done now. We've actually been done for quite some time, and we just have refused to put it to sleep. So this is Monday Night Magic number 578. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some magic.